KQ.
Live from the Fleet Farm Studios, back to the KQ Morning Show.
8:29 now, 29 minutes after 8 o'clock at KQRS News and Information. Congratulations to Ron Cormier. I think it's Cormier, Cormier, from St. Paul. He qualified to win two 1970s Corvettes in our Win One, Give One Classic Corvette giveaway, including free gas for a year for both cars, courtesy of Bobby and Steve's Auto World. If Ron ends up being the grand prize winner, he wins two classic Corvettes, one to keep and one to give to someone else. Someone deserving, of course. Ron is on the phone. How you doing, Ron?
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Is it Cormier? Is that how you say your name?
Well, you can. It's Cormier. We Americanized it when we came across from British Columbia, but yeah, Cormier.
You didn't come across from British Columbia. Don't give me any of that.
You're right, I didn't, but some family member did, so I heard.
Well, Ron Cormier is on the phone. If you win, who will you give the second Corvette to and why, Ron?
Well, I was thinking that everybody was talking about giving it to a family member, brother or sister. I would like to give it to a veteran, like a vet for a vet.
Ooh, see, a vet for... I like it, Ron.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It just, somebody who's, battle wounded doesn't necessarily mean somebody who was physically wounded, but it can also be somebody who was having trouble with the time that they spent over there. But I was going to take that one step further as well, as I have a friend who has a TV show on the Outdoor Channel called The Journey, and the premise of his show is exactly this, is he takes people who were maybe a police officer that was wounded on, in the line of duty, and he has access to these files where we can find somebody, then we would give the second vet away to someone on his TV show.
That is a great TV show, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's one of those safe TV shows. You can watch it with your kids. Nothing stupid's going to happen. So that's nice.
No, it's kind of like listening to the KQ Morning Show. I'm sure that's it, Ron.
It is. I love listening to the KQ Morning Show, by the way.
Ron, that is wonderful. It's very kind of you to say that, but that's a great idea. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful idea, and I appreciate you being with us this morning. Thanks, Ron.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
Hey, Tom,
one more thing. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yes, sir. Absolutely.
Okay, now you told a story one time, and I'm just going to digress here a little bit, but it was about a guy, this is the White Cliffs of Dover. He was somebody from Kent, England, and he was an older gentleman in a wheelchair, and he wanted to kind of look over the White Cliffs of Dover one last time before, he left this earth, and he had a nurse with him. Do you remember that story?
I do indeed, Ron. I do indeed.
I have heard that story so many times. It's one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
I probably first told that story 33 years ago.
I probably heard it that day.
You've been a listener. Here's the story. It's a true story, by the way. Okay? So, this person wanted to look over the White Cliffs of Dover. They were dying. They were in a wheelchair. And unfortunately, the person fell out of the wheelchair to their death. And so they took the person who was pushing the wheelchair to court. And upon testifying, they asked this person who was pushing the wheelchair, well, what happened? I said, well, I pushed them up to the very edge, and they wanted to go closer and closer and closer to the edge. And they said, well, couldn't you tell that they were about to fall? And they said, well, no, until they said something, but I couldn't tell what they said. And I'm not making this part up, and Ron knows I'm not making it up. He said, as we got closer and closer, I couldn't tell what they said, but it was either God save the Queen or help me, you son of a bitch. One of the greatest stories of all time. Ron, thank you. Great memory there, man. Great memory.
Yeah, well, I'm a listener, and thanks for all the memories.
You're a good man, Ron. Thanks for your time today, sir.
Take care.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Me too. Bye. God save the Queen or help me, you son of a bitch. It's one of those two. Whatever. More chances to win two classic Corvettes happen all day today, beginning with Wally Walker at 10 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, two Corvettes. What better? A vet for a vet. I like that. Isn't that amazing? We talk to listeners, and I've been running into more and more listeners that have been listening from day one. It's just, what an honor that is, don't you think?
Yeah, and I think it's amazing and great that, like, in this case, he heard this 30 years ago, And it's stayed with them this whole time. And
for 30 years.
And it really is special. Thank you to the listeners. It's amazing.
Oh, God, yeah. It is an amazing situation to be in. A group of wounded vets in Virginia Beach have been working with kids who have missing limbs and teaching them to play softball